Do you know what's great about sales ops? It's the actual impact that you can have on people's everyday lives. This is particularly sales operations in a business where there's between 2 and 20 salespeople. So it's a little bit more intimate than when you've got a team of like 20 in your sales ops function, right? This is the sales ops effect, where we strengthen our skills as strategic leaders to grow businesses with integrity. It's great because there's so many things that you get to be a part of, to change, to progress that organization forward. For example, let's start off with the sales team, right? They get frustrated quite easily because they need to spend a lot of their time externally with clients, and generally speaking, they don't like administration, they don't like to use a CRM system. So anything that you can do to make it easier, make it simpler, make it really straightforward for them to do internal things as quickly, as easy as possible, means that they get to go out and sell. And just for the record, that means that if they're then not going out and selling after you've made everything internal easier, that's for the sales manager to deal with. There really is only so much help that you can give to a salesperson that's not actually selling. Side note, right? So you can make their lives easier, because there's people that have been genuinely struggling for a long time trying to do all of these things, and they want to just be out there more. But the internal structure of everything is so convoluted that, you know what it's like. It just drains your energy. So you get to help them. Also, you get to help out the operations and delivery team, right? Because there are plenty of examples, and I have seen them firsthand and have had to deal with them, of unruly salespeople selling things that simply don't exist at prices that don't make any sense because the margin just isn't there. But their whole goal, because they're not being structured in any way, they don't have guidelines on anything, is to just bring money in. And then effectively operations, delivery, everybody in the back office just has to deal with it. It's like, yes, so that's the case in so many organizations, even today, and it is insane. But when you, as sales operations, get those guidelines in place about how deals need to be structured, the sales stages that are in deals, to ensure that we're only going after deals that are strategic fit to where we're going via a deal review process, you bring that in place. Do you know who loves you? The delivery team. Sales might not love you initially because they can't just go out and be rogue, but they will love you eventually because they're going to get far less pushback from people internally. Every single time a salesperson is getting pushback from people internally, or they're getting told off about something, they can't sell. So if you make it really difficult for them to do bad things, they're going to be told off less and they'll be able to spend more time selling. And then you've also made friends with delivery because they're not now receiving things that don't make any sense, that they've been asked to produce at a ridiculous timeline that we've got no margin on, right? You make their lives better, even if they don't know your name. There's so many great things, and you can use the data that the salespeople eventually give you, because they'll learn to love the CRM, to help drive those decisions. We keep hearing about database decision making, but what does it actually mean? It means looking at the numbers. It means talking about them. It means actually looking at your pipeline and your forecast and your leading and lagging indicators to basically say, if this is where we are now and this is where we want to be, what is the gap? We can make our decisions on what projects to prioritize based on what is going to fill that gap the best, the most efficacious way to get there, rather than the person with the biggest mouth, quite frankly, in the room just going, we need to do this, and I'm going to get everybody else online so that we all do that. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense for the whole business. It's just what they felt like doing at the time. And because they are a loud person, people just follow them. You think that what doesn't happen in businesses, because, we're supposed to be professional. It does happen. It does happen. Because there are other people in the room that aren't quite as loud. And so they'll end up having quieter conversations in the background. But by the time they've gotten enough people on side to say, do you know what? We need to stop Johnny from taking all of our resources to focus on that project because it's not actually going to work based on all of these reasons, there's already momentum on Johnny's side. Everybody's already started that stuff and it just keeps going. It just keeps going. But sales ops is good because it can, if you're very, very open with your line of thinking on strategy, if you're making these connections across the business, then you have so much more impact. I am a project manager. That's where I've come from. And I'm telling you, with the mindset that I've got of making change and actually growing companies, trying to speak from a project manager's point of view, from a head of project management's point of view, people don't listen to you as much. They should, because, you know, you can see how everything is. But I've said the exact same things leading project management departments as I have been in sales operations, and they listen to me now that I'm in sales operations. Because you've got sales in the title. And for what it's worth, it still has that weight because you're controlling the CRM. So you've got the numbers to back it up. It's not just your mind. It really, really does help. Sales operations can really change the daily lives of the people that you're working with. There are so many systems that got built in growing companies. So they were a startup and then, you know, they've got like 50 people. Now you've got 100, 200. And a lot of the systems that get built in a company that's growing are all over the shop. Not because people didn't care, but because they were growing too fast and there wasn't anybody there to say, let's align this, let's make this uniform. It was just everybody do what you need to do to get this done, to deliver to the client, which is a fantastic mindset because you're really focused on delivering and delivering quality, ideally, and making money because we want to make money. But that's all focused outwards. There's very, very little to focus on the actual building structure of a business. And that's where sales ops comes in, because your operations person will spend some time thinking about the internal structure of the business, but they're mostly going to be thinking about the clients as well. Everything is about the clients when a business is young like that. There isn't really much thought that goes to the structure, the processes, the systems, because everything's just running too fast. You're not going to bring an organizational development person in at that point unless you've got a lot of seed funding. It would just be difficult, and it honestly just isn't sexy. You know, new really cool recording meeting software or whatever is really sexy. Organizational development, employee engagement isn't quite as sexy. But sales ops has a little bit of all of those things, and they will listen to you. This is why it's great. This is how we can make change happen. This is how we can sort out the systems so that the people from all over the business don't end up feeling so stressed out at the end of the day because they're just frustrated. It would just be easier if we could sort out this system so that everybody could win. But it's not the priority of most people. It is the priority of sales ops. And so that's why I'm so glad to be here. And that's why I'm really, really lucky to be able to train other people in how to do this and how to do this well. If this is something that you love, you're really enjoying sales ops, you want to get better at it, please come and join us in the course and community, Sales Ops Leaders. You can find it at salesopseffect.com. I'll speak to you soon.